Today, I would like to discuss a unique voting system called Borda Count. It is only used on a national scale in two countries, Kiribati and Nauru. Nauru elects its parliament through this system, and Kiribati elects their president through this system. It's also used to vote for a minority group in Slovenia, I think, for one particular district where there's a ethnic minority. But only Nauru and Kiribati on a national scale, and several non-political private organizations use this system to elect their leaders. Now, how does it work? Basically, there are a list of candidates. Well, if it were for a parliament, the Parliament of Nauru, single-member districts, there are a list of candidates. This system is non-proportional, by the way. And people mark their ballots people vote based on their preferences. Their first preference, the one the candidate will want to see elected, to their second favorite, to their third favorite, and fourth, and so forth. It's similar to instant runoff voting, which will be discussed in a future video. But this system works like this. After the votes have been cast, you give scores to candidates. The one you like the most gets most points, and the one you like the least gets only 1 point from you. So it's the person at the bottom of your preference gets only 1 point, the second to last gets 2 points, and so forth. Now, so then they add the points up that the voters give to the candidates, and whoever has the most points wins. Now, I'm not sure about this system. It hasn't been used very often. It hasn't been used in other countries, except two small countries in the South Pacific. So I wouldn't know if it was used in a larger country, say the UK. I don't know if how it would go down, or if Borda Count replaced instant runoff voting in Australia, for example. I don't know how it would work out. There are advantages and disadvantages to it. First of all, the advantages, I would assume it's the candidate with the most points is generally acceptable. I don't know if a majority of people will vote for him, support him, if he gets majority support. Maybe all the other points combined is more than him. I don't know if it's a majority, but this system tends to elect generally acceptable candidates. So let's say one group, let's say 30% of your constituency have a high vote, think highly of you and give you 10 points because they're all first preferences. For first preference you get 10 points. A large group says, we like you very much. But then the other groups don't like you and give you a very low score. And then those other groups go pull behind one other candidate and think very highly of him. So, and then you could lose. Just because one group of people thinks very highly of you, that means everyone else does not, but everyone else does not think very highly of you, you could very well lose. So it elects a generally acceptable candidate. It's based on consensus. It's like the people are the judges and they give you an overall score. They're not saying, I want you to represent me. It's basically, does this person deserve to represent everyone based on their performance, based on what policies they are promoting. Do the people overall like you or overall dislike you? And usually I would think the majority wins under this system. The disadvantage, however, is you could, through casting your vote, through your preferences, might have to vote tactically. Because let's say your preferred candidate you mark as number 1. By marking another particular popular candidate at, say, number 2, another candidate who is very popular at number 2, it could be to the expense of your preferred candidate. So you have to vote tactically and say he gets to put him at the very lowest rung. So despite the fact that he's your second favorite, you have to put him at very low so your first preference gets elected. It encourages tactical voting, just like first past the post. So because of the scores you give, you have to try to put people that you might like at lower preferences in order to get your higher preference candidate elected. It's a flaw, but again, I have to emphasize that I don't know what the result would be for other countries if they were to adopt this voting system. But I'd like to know from the YouTube viewers, what do you think of this system? Thanks for listening.